Hi everybody, I'm Lynn with Plasma Energy Solution, and thanks for joining me. This is June 8th, 2020, and I want to talk a little bit about some special things we have this month for you. We have, I haven't spent much time on this, but it is the month for Father's Day, and so we do have something new called Never Ending Plasma Energy Superman Plus. And you may have remembered that several months ago we came out with Superman Plus, Never Ending Plasma Energy Superwoman Plus. So Superman Plus is a combination of herbs, vitamins, minerals, essential oils, teas, roots, and different energies, also taken from the GANs of healthy genes, healthy gut, healthy thyroid, peace, clear mind, cancer, parasite, and inflammation relief. And there's amino acids, hemoglobin, and the GANs of the B9 Korean salt that I talk about fairly often on these videos. What makes the B9 Korean salt special is that before Dr. Paul made a GANs of it had been baked 9 times in bamboo. Korean salt is said to contain all that is found on the periodic table, and that is what a GANs was made of. So do go and look that up on our website. And because it is Father's Day month, if you will use the word plasma, you will get a 15% discount on it. And so I did want to share that with you about Superman Plus. And then I also want to share with you about Dream Big. Dr. Paul and his ability to dream big. Dr. Paul left a secure job on the railroad when he was 25, and he went back to college. He had to dream big. He'd had a great time in college for a couple years right out of high school. So in order to dream big, and his goal was to go to veterinary school, he had to pull up some iffy grades. That didn't slow him down. There were semesters that he took 18 to 21 hours of upper level chemistry classes. That is a lot. He would have gotten a straight 4.0, but in Dream Big, taking 1 hour of library science wasn't on his horizon when he already knew how to use the library. So not going to that class impacted his dream big. So you can see there's sometimes maybe when some people dream big, they might have a bit of a stubborn streak to help them along with the dream big. He did get into veterinary school, and when he finished, he decided to set up a practice and not work for anyone. He was going to dream big. As he said, I've already worked for someone, so I'm just going to dream big and open up my own practice. Over the years, he probably opened up 12 different practices, and always dreaming big. It didn't slow him down when he opened his first practice, and he had a wife and 3 small children. And it was, well, would that been a security step that a lot of people might have been afraid to make? Not Paul. He was on the Dream Big team. And you know, I guess I was too, because I sure wasn't going to put an anchor on him and say, well, wait a minute. You know, common sense dictates maybe we should. Should is kind of a overused word in my opinion. So Dream Big has a lot of great energies in it. And in the earlier video I did today, I hope you'll take time to watch that, because I talk about what the GANs is and a little more about shungite and why these are important. So I hope you'll take the time to look at that, because to a lot of people, plasma energy is just a big mystery, and the GANS is the gas in the atomic nanosolid state. Now, when you get a vial of something, you may not see any particles in it like you see in the large jars that have the different colors of GANs in the bottom of them. But these are nanoparticles. So there are always the nanoparticles present in the vials that you are sent. And I'll remind you, for those who get a little uptight over the idea of plastic over glass, even when I send glass vials, you guys, they have plastic lids. So let's set aside the hysteria over all the different kinds of plastic. And do look at the earlier video I did, because I discussed some of the issues that come up about the plastic. Okay, so there's some energies in Dream Big that you're going to find in Healthy Superhuman. There are some energies that you're going to find in Virus Relief, Anxiety Relief, Cold Flu Relief, Life Force, Lung Support, New Tech Frequency Relief, and there you are, there's the Shungite energies. Peace plus zinc, gold, Korean salt, amino acids, and hemoglobin. And I will remind you, it's very rare to find combinations out there that have silver GANs or gold GANs. Those are very time consuming to make, and they're often part of the combinations that we have. And so if you'll go to the website, to our homepage, it's plasmaenergysolution.com, and you'll find all the versions of Dream Big on the special, because I also included a Dr. Paul's last videos. And it was his experience and philosophy in dealing with the many issues, health issues that he had over the last, well, starting with diabetes, it would have been over the last 35 years. So those are available only as part of the special, and they are not going to be available. You can order them from the website singly, you know, as separate from the special, but they're not going to be available as free YouTubes. These were taken just a couple of weeks before he died in December of 2019. I think I said 2020 on there. That wasn't quite right. Okay. This past week, my children, our children and grandchildren, came in for the final send-off of Dr. Paul's ashes. And Dr. Paul liked fast horses, he liked fast cars, and by golly, the creek was rising, it was at its peak, and he got a fast ride. So it was a lovely send-off. And our son in Denver is a very accomplished writer and has published his first novel. He writes for a local newspaper. He writes songs. He does a lot of writing for people who have businesses, and he's writing their blogs and things like that. So he called this Dad's Piece. The mark of an honest man is that when you ask him the same question at different times, the answer is always the same. Once when I was a little kid, I asked you what you wanted for Christmas. You said, peace. When I was a teenager, I asked you what you wanted for your birthday. You said, peace. Through the years, at times, you would go along with scenarios that seemed antithesis to your sensibilities. When I ask you why, you'd always say, to keep the peace. If there is an eternal reward for living your life as a loyal, forthright, brutally honest man, I pray that at last you have been granted your lifelong wish. And I believe you have, because when I close my eyes and think of you, Dad, I find peace. That is really lovely. And the day before, well, when our son was driving up from Denver, he had the window down and he got hit in the head with a bumblebee. Well, the day after we had our family gathering and Paul's send-off, we went up a very scenic highway near our town, and it's one of the summer entrances ultimately into Yellowstone. I had the window down. I was in the front seat. My daughter was in the back seat. A bumblebee flew in and flew straight into her purse and was rattling around the purse, and everybody was... So we had to stop the car, pull over, let the bee out. Okay? And I'm thinking, wow, that's interesting. Well, when I got home, I had received a beautiful photograph from a friend over in another town in Montana, and she's a very talented artist and photographer, and it was a picture of a bee on an iris. So I hope you'll look at it on our homepage on the Dream Big special, because I did put that photograph in there. But I got to thinking about it. What's this thing with all bees, 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 be there, be there. And I finally decided I'll take it as I'll be there. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I'll be there with you. I think a lot of people could use a little dose of Dream Big. We really have some pretty dicey things going on right now in our country. And I want you to be very mindful of how you're stocking your plasma pantry. How are you going to be equipped if you don't have availability to things you always can get when you go shopping online or in your town? We take it for granted that we have an instant delivery system and we can get everything at the snap of a finger. Things are changing, you guys. The price of rice has gone up 70% since the onset of that virus that's in the news. That's a huge increase. And you have to consider that people the world over use rice as a mainstay in their diets. Be very aware of these types of price increases, and I hope you're stocking your pantry and you've gotten past a lonely can of corn and a bag of chips. Really expand your horizons. And there's some online journalists who say every time you go to the store, you can always get a few extra things and stock up. And I would make it those things that have a certain amount of shelf life. And I would also say get a variety. Anytime you eat the same things over and over and over, you're going to develop what's called a habituation to it, to where a day will come that you can't stand to gag it down any longer. So I want you to think about that. And I want you to be aware of what's going on around you. I listened to an interview last night where a very small mountain town in the West, there's a liquor store where a man's worked for 15 years. They know, everybody in town knows each other. It's a small town. And there were, there was a burglary. They'd never had one. And he said, you know, just be aware when you go to the store that there are people at some of the big box stores in some of the big city that are having their groceries stolen from them. So pay attention to what's going on around you. And in my hometown in New Mexico, there was a certain group that announced that they were going to arrive and perhaps wreak havoc to the town. I'm happy to report that when they got to the downtown area, there were business owners and others on the rooftops ready to protect their downtown. So let's not knuckle down to all the nonsense that's going on around us. And I'm sorry to call it nonsense because it's way more serious than that. But this is why we have Dream Big this month. We're having our dream stomped upon. And I just want us all to remember, dream big. That's why we're here. As a special race, human beings, we've been given the gift of creativity. That creativity includes our dreams, our intentions. So don't be afraid to dream big. I did put the what I just read you about, dream big, and I'll be there for you. And I did hear back from someone, and it was, oh, of course, here's Lynn rifling through her papers again because she doesn't keep them in order when she's talking. What can we say? Well, anyway, it was really heartfelt, and I appreciated hearing that. And I do appreciate hearing from all of you. And if you have questions, go ahead and email them to me. You can reach me at lynn@plasmaenergysolution.com. And don't forget, on our website, plasmaenergysolution.com, we have lots of blogs. We have lots of frequently asked questions and testimonials. We put up lots of videos. And Dr. Paul and I did a lot of videos last summer, all through June, July, August, and September. So I hope you'll take the time and go back and look at those and enjoy his input on how he was doing the plasma energy. And so I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for dreaming big. All right, give me a thumbs up. And if you've liked this video, and also please share it with your friends. And don't forget, our website is plasmaenergysolution.com. Thanks again.